Ring, ring, pick up the phone. I know you see me calling. What's up? I'm Cynthia Luciette, and you're watching Lockup Unlocked Quarantine Calls Edition. This is the only show where we get your favorite cast members from WeTV's Love After Lockup and Life After Lockup to get them to spill all their tea. Caution, the floor is wet, because it's covered in tea. Today, we're talking to Sarah and Michael and Megan. Come on now. You know they're pretty much a unit at this point. Listen, no matter how you feel about this love triangle, one thing is for sure. They are flammable AF. So let's light this match.
I've been battling all these unresolved emotions. If I could have it my way, I wouldn't even be in this situation. I would just be with Megan.
Michael is my fiance. I'm not worried about the mother of Michael's child being a part of our lives. He doesn't love her. Like, I come first.
We need to get a divorce, Sarah. This is not gonna work. I was basically trying to kiss Sarah's ass and trying to make something work just so I can spend as much time with my daughters.
Michael blurts out he wants a divorce. Little does he know, I've already started.
All right, we flipped a coin, and heads up, Sarah is first. Now, one thing about it, we can always count on Sarah to bring the baby mama drama. Because most of the time, we don't get to see her being a mom. We get to see her being a baby mom arguing with the father of her babies. But you a full-on mom in these streets, Sarah. So what's it like being a mom during quarantine?
Being a mom during quarantine is interesting. It's tough. You have like a little baby who wants to get out and start moving around, and then you have a 5-year-old who understands that there is a change and there's a difference, and why can't I see my family, and why do I have to wear masks? My biggest concern was like the mental health of my oldest daughter. She would, cry a lot and things like that.
Listen, it is very important to have outside like family members FaceTiming and calling you during this quarantine time. I don't personally have kids, but having a niece and nephew, my sister is like, please call them. They need somebody else to talk to. Check on your family members with kids. They are not okay. Okay? So what was people's biggest misconception about your relationship with Michael?
The biggest misconception, the idea that everything I do as a mother is based off me as an ex of his, or a jealous wife of his, or he had to be with me to see the kids. That was like the most hurtful thing, because I take pride in being a mom. I lost my mom when I was young, so it really matters to me. And any decision I've ever made about Michael and those kids was solely based as me as a mom. And that is it. It had nothing to do with my relationship with Michael, because I advocate for those kids. I take care of those kids. I know those kids. And if I don't trust you, it's not happening.
It's good to hear your perspective of that, because a lot of the fans, maybe me too, do wonder if you're so mad at Michael because you want to be back with him. Like, you just said, Michael, I don't understand why you just can't come with the kids, and when you do come with the kids, you're always with a no bitch. Whatever, Sarah, it don't matter. You do want to be with me. So it's like, it's a lot. It's a lot of energy, but you say it's for the kids, and anything for the kids, I'm for it. Okay. Before we move forward, I just want to know, do you ever see Michael changing?
I've known Michael for about 8 years. I met him when I was a teenager. I'm now 26. So in a weird way, like, I grew up with him. He grew up with me, From knowing him as that type of person who I grew up with and who I was best friends with, I feel like there's potential. I feel like he is a good person deep down. He just makes terrible decisions. And I also just had to accept the fact that he's just not ready.
I'm just wondering, how many bad decisions does a good person have to make before we're just like, damn, you're a bad person? Okay, moving on. What advice would you give to your younger self?
I'm not saying I regret anything, but I wish earlier on, instead of taking all my pain and hurt and using, and turning it into being damaged or sad, that I did what I'm doing now, which is I use it as wisdom, and I learn from it, and I appreciate things happening, because I'm like, that's just keep showing me who you are. Keep showing me what type of person you are, so I know how to handle you, so I know where to hold you in my life. And so I don't give too much of myself, instead of acting so much off of pain and emotion and having it break me down. I definitely would just tell myself that everything you go through is a good thing. They're stepping stones, makes you stronger, makes you who you are. And I wish I knew that being younger, for sure.
I agree. Everything is a good thing. There's a rainbow after every cloud. Thank you for your time, Sarah. Go take a bubble bath. Let you guys know that we play fair on Lockup Unlocks quarantine calls. So let's get Michael on the line. Hey, Michael, let's get to your start on the show. What's the backstory behind your first prison stint that we saw on the show?
Okay, so the first time that I was on the show and I was locked up, it was initially for accessory after the fact. I was around the commission of a crime as a felon, and then that would boost me up to be a habitual felon and made me serve prison time.
Wow, okay, so how many felonies does it take to become habitual?
Man, it's still confusing to figure out how many numbers it takes to become a habitual. Like, you know, my first time going to prison, I was 16, I did 5 years. I had 4 felonies. I think what transpired was that I caught my first case at 12, and that they told me like, yo, if you do anything while you're on this probation or anything, like, it can turn into a felony. So I think what transpired was once I caught that prison case, they added my case when I was 12, and it became another felony. Then I was around a person that committed a crime. I didn't even know that I was going to even go to prison. I took a plea for probation. They was like, yo, you know, send you to prison for 2 years. I'm like, yo, I could have just took it to trial then and beat the case and not went to prison.
Unfortunately, Michael, your story is too common in America, where this judicial system has proven to be especially harsh on, you know, younger kids who are Black. You know, you could be wrapped up in the prison system by the time you're even legal. So it's hard to stay out of prison when you're on probation and you're young and you don't understand much of anything. But what's the hardest part about actually being in prison?
For me, when I did the 2 years and I knew I was innocent, the hugest difference for me was that I had a daughter. I had a child. I knew that I was gonna miss 2 years of my daughter's life. I think that's what hurted me the most. Like, nothing else really fazed me, but it was like, you know, when I call home and talk to my daughter, like, yeah, that fazed me every day. Or like, I wrote a journal every day. Not even necessarily a journal. Like, I would write my daughter, and anytime I'm thinking about her, I know she wouldn't be able to read it, but my whole objective was that when she got older, that she'd be able to, you know, look back on something so she'd know, like, yo, when I was during that time, like, I was thinking about you every day. Like, you was a baby. You didn't understand, you didn't know, you didn't deserve it. And those moments, like writing them letters, like, that was the toughest time for me.
It has to be hard being locked up and, you know, not being able to see your kids, only being able to think about them. You know, when you explain things to kids, you want to give them the reality of the situation while kind of sugarcoating it, but while you're making it sweeter for them to digest, they may not fully get the reality of the situation. So was it hard for her, your daughter, to understand where you were?
Exactly. Like, I think for her, though, I know that she remembers, like, being, you know, like 4 when I was in like a county jail, and she come see me, and I had to like basically make her comfortable and sit there until she like not scared or not crying, and for her to understand, because as she got older, she was trying to realize like why I'm not coming home with her. For a minute, you know, her mom was telling her like, you know, daddy at work, and shit, you tell her that, then what I gotta do, I gotta say I'm at work too. She know it's a place that I was at, and that she don't want me there, and that she didn't like the situation.
It's hard. People, listen, I've heard all types of things that people have had to explain to the kids when somebody's in jail. Because you don't know how to say it. It's like, daddy's away, daddy's visiting his friends who do things that land them all in one building. You are one of the people on the show that the fans definitely have a strong opinion about. So now it's your time to speak. What do you want the fans to know about you?
One of the hugest things for me is the relationship with my daughters. Sarah was pregnant with Aviana. I was on parole in another state. I was violating every time to get to another state, to go see my daughter, to catch her being born. You know what I mean? And when she did become born months later, you know, I ended up in prison, and me and her mom was going through a rocky situation, but I felt that I needed to keep her close. I just hate that because of what me and her moms had going on, that, you know, she trickled it down to my daughter. And she told me, like, simply, like, she said I hurt her. You know, she was embarrassed about Megan. And she said that was her reasoning. And I mean, it don't make sense, but it's up to her. It's only her sense that she can make.
Listen, I try to give people the benefit of the doubt because there's always 3 sides to every story. Okay, here you got Michael's side of the story, you got Sarah's side of the story, and you have the truth, which is probably a mixture of somewhere in the middle. And I'm happy to know that you feel like you're a good dad, and you feel like, you know, you don't have to show the world that you're a good dad to be a good dad. You are to you, and that's good. You know, I'd rather that than you just be like, oh, whatever, Sarah's right. Okay, thank you, Michael. Thanks for talking to us. I hope you have fun feeding ducks or whatever you were doing in that park. Goodbye. But as we all know, Michael had another love, Megan, and we have her here with us today. Hey, Megan, how's your quarantine going?
It's been kind of forced me to like sit down and like really like think about things. Being like isolated kind of gets your mind like going back and like replaying things and just, I don't know, I'm trying to like learn for the future and like do better, basically.
When you think about life, you either think about the good things and feel happy and motivated, or you think about all the mistakes and every wrong turn that you ever took in life. So during your reflecting, what were you thinking about? And did you learn anything about your relationship with Michael?
When I first met Michael, I thought he was real. Like, I thought he was genuine, and I thought he was a truthful person. Like, I thought somebody who would offer up all their secrets was somebody that wanted the same and like expected the same, which I was okay with. But come to find out, like, he's telling everybody the same thing. Only he does that to get you vulnerable enough to share yourself with him, only to like manipulate you with that information.
Look, whew. When you think somebody is genuine and they turn out not to be, that is way harder than when you're dealing with a guy and you kind of know he ain't from the beginning. You're like, that's what I expected, and it's kind of my fault, and I knew that. But when you're like, I just didn't see the signs. I thought he was so, you're under that spell, and love is blind. That hurt to open your eyes. It's like seeing the sun for the first time, staring directly in it. No, no. At the end of the day, not everyone is genuine, and nobody knows that better than Megan now. But just because somebody isn't genuine, that doesn't mean they weren't fun. So, do you have any fond memories of Michael?
I mean, I guess Niagara Falls was fun. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the relationship was fun. Anytime we were together, we had fun. It was the in-between and unblocking me and blocking me. Like, I still like think about that. Like, when I'm texting somebody, I'm like, oh my God, is it gonna turn green? Is it delivered? Like, I still have like trauma.
Damn, when one of my friends' text messages turns green, that just means that they're low on money and just went team Android. And I'm worried about them then. So I couldn't imagine text messages turning green because he blocking me at any given moment, or he changed his number, or he not on Wi-Fi. Like, what? But it's good that you're getting back to dating. What do you want in your future relationship?
My idea of a perfect relationship is like a partnership. I want a partner. Like, I want somebody that's gonna be my ride or die, somebody that's loyal, somebody that is makes me feel secure. You know, that's what I want. It's not complicated.
Listen, I'm not saying that your expectations are too high. I'm just saying, in order to find the man that you described, you're probably gonna have to have him built in a factory like a Tesla. And our favorite question to ask the experienced, what would you go back and tell your younger self?
I would tell my younger self, like, it's okay. Like, you might be feeling down now, and you might be sad, you might not have blossomed into a butterfly yet, but just keep going, and you're gonna be strong. Like, you're gonna be okay, and like, no matter what you go through, you're gonna get through it. Like, you're not gonna fall. So that's what I would like to say.
I want to thank all three of you guys for sitting down and talking with me today. And I want to thank you at home for watching this video. Leave a comment. I want to hear what you got to say. Like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you don't miss an episode of Lockup Unlocked Quarantine Calls Edition. And remember, send a mom a bottle of wine today. See you next time.